Next thing we're working on right now is this thing, this Landrover. I've been kind of really scratching my head with it last couple days. Alright, so to give you guys just some quick background on this thing, it came in here like a couple weeks ago and it was smoking, really it was steaming. This gasket had failed in here, so I replaced that, but in the process had to replace a bunch of vacuum lines and other hoses because they're all made out of this stupid, this is that vinyl line, and it doesn't take much to snap this. So I tried to do valve cover gaskets on this thing, but the problem with that, so in order to do valve cover gaskets, which this is the valve cover right here, in order to remove the valve cover, it's actually underneath the intake manifold, so the intake manifold has to come off. In order for the intake manifold to come off, this bracket that's bolted to the, in order to move this bracket out of your way, and in order to take the intake manifold off, you have to basically, this is very thin, like stainless steel piping, and what's happening is that it's corroded inside of here. So when I was trying to loosen this nut, this whole pipe was twisting, and I was afraid it was going to break. So I told them that, you know, maybe let's hold off and figure out another plan, because these are going to have to be either replaced or eliminated in order to, you know, make it work. But at least I did fix the leak, the coolant leak, buttoned it all back up together. Not too long afterwards, maybe about a week, week and a half, it would barely stay running, and it had a bunch of codes, and it still has, it has 8 codes right now. So we're gonna try to figure out what's, all right, back to this whole thing. 8 codes. Manufacturer specific codes, not Lamborghini, Landrover. All right, O2 sensor circuit, bank 1 sensor 1. So let's just erase the codes. Yes. Just took the disco for a drive to try to set one of the drive cycles to make sure that there's not going to be any more pending codes. Right now it's cooling down. I'm going to do another drive cycle, and then I think I need a third one with a little bit of highway driving before it sets all the readiness monitors. And then it should be good, and I can take it through emissions because that's one of the other things they wanted me to do. Alright, so I was gonna drive this home, but the check engine light came back on, and on the highway this thing just seems to really lack power. Next exit I'm gonna turn around, go back to the shop, drop this thing off, and then worry about fixing it tomorrow. P0171, I don't know if you can read that or not in the white, but it says System 2 Lean Bank 1. So I think I just found a vacuum leak. I'm going to spray the area. You can't really hear the difference. You can only see, like, feel the difference. So I'm just going to see if the tack drops. Spray. So that little dip in the idle right there, I was spraying this fitting right here. This fitting is worn out. So I'm gonna see if I can find that. So this is one of the things the customer complained about, and I think I just finally got it fixed. And honestly, I really don't think there was anything wrong with this one. This piece right here, this metal arm was bent up. So I just bent it back down, and you can actually see where the paint chipped off because this thing was so bent. I'm guessing it just got hung up or something, and somebody tried to force it closed, and it bent it even more. But now it lines up so that this part right here actually hits the little nub thing that goes in there and stays shut. I'm gonna go take it for a test drive I had some confusion about which one was bank 1. These are made in the United Kingdom, so when people say driver's side, they really mean the right side of the car from when you're sitting in it. So I'm just going to be doing a little bit of driving, watching the fuel trims and watching the O2 sensors react and stuff with my scan tool, graph the O2 sensor voltages, and just see what else I can kind of try to do to figure out. I think it was throwing a lean code. I did find and fix another vacuum leak in the intake manifold, but it's only throwing a lean code for one bank. Because it was the intake manifold before the runner split off, I think it would be both banks. So either one bank isn't responding well. I think it's an O2 sensor problem is basically what I'm getting at. So I want to look and see how they respond to each other and how they respond individually when I stab the throttle and stuff like that. So I'll kind of go through that with you guys. We're gonna go for a little drive. So the short-term fuel trim is adding 25% fuel on bank 1. Bank 2 is like 0. It's definitely thinking that bank 1 is running very lean. So it's adding fuel, adding a lot of fuel. And just sitting here right now, like there's a little bit of a shimmy. Okay, so look. This is both front O2 sensors, bank 1 and bank 2. You can see how this one is responding and moving and doing its thing. This one is at complete 0 right now. And if I what the heck was that? What the heck was that noise? Well, the serpentine belt is one tooth off, or missing a section. Oh yeah, that's what I thought it sounded like. So one of the ribs came off of the serpentine belt while we were sitting there revving it and diagnosing the O2 sensor problem, and the rib came off and is now wrapped around the fan. Cool. That bank 1 sensor, 1 O2 sensor is not responding. 1 graphic, 2 graphic. Alright, so now we're graphing. This is bank 1. This is bank 2. See how this one's barely moving? It's only fluctuating between 0.020 and 0.025. Whereas this one's fluctuating between the range of 0.065 and 0.805. And there's much more fluctuation going on in the bank 2 than there is in the bank 1. And if I hit the throttle slowly, because that serpentine belt is not very happy right now. See how this one responds? And if I let off, it responds again, and this one responds, but not as quickly. And like you can, I mean, just look at the graphic there. You can just tell one of those O2 sensors is sending data and being responsive, and this one is pretty much flatlined. That O2 sensor needs to be replaced. So let's get that ordered and get that figured out. Alright, off we go to the parts store. At this point, I replaced an O2 sensor, and then I needed to get all the radius monitors set in order to pass emissions. The drive cycles on these Landrovers are a little bit more intense than I would have thought. So, each of these starts out pretty much cool at less than 140 degrees Fahrenheit, so I'm going to let this cool down. Drive cycle A, I'm pretty sure it's probably done right now, but this is the one you have to follow. Switch engine on 30 seconds, ensure the coolant temperature less than 60 degrees Celsius. And start engine about 2 minutes, check fault codes, and then the second one, let's cool again. Switch on, ensure the engine coolant temperature less than 60 Celsius, start at 2 minutes. Perform 2 light accelerations from 0 to 35, light pressure, perform 2 medium accelerations from 0 to 45, monitor pressure, and perform 2core accelerations from 0 to 55, heavy pressure, engine about 2 minutes, check for fault codes, and then like a project for another day unless I can get these readiness monitors to set. Alright guys, so this video is already taking a really long time. So I'm going to wrap this video up here. I will have a second part to this where this project will be finished, but there's a little bit more that has to go on with this Land Rover, and then trust me, there will be some other good content coming out of this channel, I promise you. Just let me know what it is that you'd like to see. I'm still trying to feel out what it is my style and everything is, and I'm trying to figure out what you guys want to watch and everything. I'm still trying to get a hold of filming, I'm still trying to get a hold of editing, and I'm trying to figure it all out and make a decent content to bring to you guys. So let me know what you thought, and I'll see you next time. That was such a stupid transition. I hate when people do the freaking hand thing. Like, it's worn out. Ugh. Gotta do a different one, like